for some oldie but goodie reseller topics.
Is that oldie or is that current?
I don't know. So
It's like reseller news, man. It can't be old news.
But it is.
News.
It's old fake reseller news.
Fake news?
Fake news.
Oh man.
Well, so I don't know what happens in the news cycle as far as like, just mainstream news, but it seems like when it comes to reselling, like they recycle the same story. Right? So 2 news topics.
That's how clickbait works, man.
I know, but it's so
they've got 5 stories that they just tell over and over.
That is true. But there's 2 stories that came out in the mainstream this past 2 weeks that were interesting to me. Well, not interesting. I'm just like, why? Like, how many people read this and then go, I just wasted my life reading to the bottom. Most people don't read to the bottom, though. I think that's how they get away with it. So, first one was like, there was a news story about Black Diamond VHS selling for $26,000 on eBay.
Gosh.
It was like,
we're back to the Black Diamond.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Little Mermaid collection. And I'm like, okay, listen, I'm kind of done with this. And at the end of the news story, it went again with, well, these haven't sold yet. Well, obviously they haven't sold yet because they're not going to sell for $26,000. So if you're new to our podcast,
unless you're the money launderer,
Mike strongly believes it's money laundering. Yeah, so, and I think most of our listeners do too. So if you're brand new to reselling the podcast, if you ever see news stories about Black Diamond VHS, just research sold on eBay, and that'll tell you the real story.
Yeah, don't do it.
Even do Terapeak.
Don't buy. But that's the thing. Like, you might find one that did sell for $26,000, and if you did, it's because it was money laundering, and it wasn't.
But I don't
really
think there are any that have sold for. I've looked. I've seen some that have sold for like 400 or 1,000 or something like that, and maybe there was a special delivery with those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as far as and it was funny is like the picture, I think it was on Yahoo News, was like a garage sale picture of like old VHS, like, the cracked cases and everything. Like, no one's buying that. Okay. Same story is Toys R Us is reopening again.
I saw that. Is that, I mean, but this
is a third go round.
But here's what I saw though.
Okay.
The one that I saw claimed 2 things. One was that most of their sales are going to try and move towards an online platform. It's not online, which makes sense, right? Very little overhead. The other one was that they were going to open up about 6 stores across the United States. That's not very many. Like, I could see that, like, not coming back as like the chain that they were, but like open up a couple pilot stores, see how things go, build up. I mean, people will go crazy. I mean, just think, okay, so you remember when Raising Cane's first opened up here in San Diego?
Yeah, so Raising Cane's is if you don't know what Raising Cane's is, it's a place that sells like chicken strips.
Yeah. So it's famous in other parts of the country, but there weren't very many of them in California.
Yeah, I remember it was a big deal. I showed up in the long lines.
Yeah, huge long lines, right? Like one Raising Cane's.
Like I waited an hour to get my chicken strips.
Exactly, right? And I think if you did that, imagine if there was one Toys R Us opening in the entire California area.
I got food poisoning, by the way, the first time.
Oh,
I haven't gone back since.
Oh, I like Cane's. It's good.
I can't even look at that place.
Sorry.
Like my kids are like, "Can we go?" I'm like, "What place are you talking about?" That's a second store that shall not be named. Anyways, go ahead.
But yeah, just imagine though the hype that a store like that would get if Toys R Us opened like one in every major city across the United States. That store they'd be able to charge anything. People would be lining up at the doors. Kids, like people would just be like, "My kid can finally go to Toys R Us," you know.
You know what? I see your point.
They've created the scarcity. It's gone.
But there's a couple of things here in play. Number one is they've said this multiple times. And so eventually, if you say things too many times, you become irrelevant. Like people are like, yeah, whatever. Like, here you go again, Toys R Us. The other part is they're trying to do online. And like they already did online. Like they had an eBay store. Like I would source from their eBay store to flip on Amazon. So I don't know. I agree with you. If Toys R Us sticks to their guns and they open these stores, it'll be a big deal. Like it will be a big deal. I will tell you, I remember last year. Do you remember last year I was a little bit concerned, like, hey, there's no Toys R Us, or what if Toys R Us comes back? Yeah. How's it going to affect? I'm in a place where I don't think it's going to affect anything. I think the only way it would ever affect things is if they have only like what they used to have, the Toys R Us exclusives. But all that's going to happen with that is they're going to sell out, people are going to flip on Amazon, and the equation will continue.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's going to affect more than that is more and more places selling online. Not just that places are selling, but I would say as time goes, fewer and fewer people are walking into brick and mortar stores to buy their kids toys for Christmas, right?
Mhm.
More and more people are just buying it right off an Amazon list, which at the beginning phase is really good for resellers because it's fewer people in the store buying the items. You get to
Agreed.
buy it in the brick and mortar store, you send it in, and now they're buying it from you. Now, as companies realize that, I don't know, let's use Nerf as an example. As Nerf realizes, wait a minute, we've got overstock of our product in all of these box stores and we can barely keep it in stock on Amazon. They're just going to send fewer units to box stores, more units to Amazon. That's going to hurt resellers.
No,
Then how
I
do you get your hands on those items?
no, I can see it. And Nerf is one of those gated areas. It's
Yeah, I mean, I was using that as
on
an
Amazon. I
example,
mean,
but
no, but it's hard. I mean, you can get ungated, but it is one of those that for me it's tough. I would say, I think with Amazon and their, we've talked about how they're very big on third party sellers. I think Amazon is just gonna always up it where like no one will be able to compete with Amazon when it comes to retail arbitrage. Right? I think, will Toys R Us be able to offer 1 day Prime? I don't think they'll be able to. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah.
could see Walmart doing that, but a business that went out of business and is trying to start all over, like that's going to be pretty tough. So I still think the advantage will be selling on Amazon. I still think the advantage will be, hey, these Toys R Us are near you. Like that's another opportunity for you to do retail arbitrage. I just hope one opens in San Diego. Did you see any in San Diego?
I didn't read the article.
I'm
I just
sure.
read the clickbait
Okay.
title. That was it.
I should have read it. I'll be honest. I just read it. I'm like, really again? Because it was all over Instagram. Like multiple people posted. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna post all those Jeffrey giraffes that I bought, the plushes. I think I bought like 500 of them. They're worth nothing. I mean, I paid like $3 each, so maybe I'll make $1 on each of them. But just sad. But I'm glad Toys R Us is opening again. So then my grandkids maybe can experience Toys R Us.
They're gonna say, "What's a store? Isn't it just Amazon?"
You never know. I mean, who knows? 20 years from now, who knows?
Yeah, they're gonna have inside of Toys R Us instead of like a YouTube channel where you watch kids play with the toys. There's gonna be like a cage, and then like
What?
they're
Where
gonna
are you
have
going with
like,
this?
not a cage, but like a glass container with like basically whoever would be doing the YouTube playing with the toys so kids can watch it.
It's
You
just
know?
gonna be live streamed all day,
Yeah,
like free advertising. Okay. Wow. We also give insights into the future on this podcast.
that's right.
There you go. All right. So this is kind of a little bit of old news. This was a few weeks ago, but we had that, in between episodes, so we didn't get to talk about it. But Goodwill is partnering up with OfferUp in several cities. So Goodwill will now sell their items on OfferUp. Thoughts?
Okay,
Wait, did I mention the store that shall not be
you
named?
did.
Oh,
You got
fail.
you got to put $1 in the swear jar.
Fail. Okay.
Okay,
So,
here's what I think about that.
okay.
That's just going to be extra work for them, right? Like they already, I mean, if they can afford hiring more employees to take the pictures, do the listings, deal with people coming and picking up those items, not putting items out on the floor that are actually listed on OfferUp in case people double. If they're willing to put the money and time and energy into that and still make a profit in both categories, good for them. But I already think they're overreaching. So yeah, we'll see. But maybe it hires more people.
I'm more like, get ready for the flakes, right? Because, there was a point in time I thought OfferUp was going to be different than Craigslist. And it is still a little better. But man, I can't tell you how many times I get people to offer me on stuff and they go ghost. Like I never hear from them. Or I'll even be at the meetup place and I'll get a message like, sorry, I couldn't make it out today. Right. And I've even done it myself. So
Ooh, Orlando the Flake.
I know I was. There was a thing and I missed out. It was like $100 flip too, but I just it was like an hour drive and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. But yeah, I'm not too concerned about the store that shall not be named. And I'll say this, and I keep saying this, is that I think there's a lot of fear out there that the store that shall not be named is kind of gonna hurt resellers. I think it's the opposite, right? We've talked about this, so we won't say it too much. But in the end, as long as the store that shall not be named keeps making bad PR for themselves, like trying to appear nonprofit but looking like they're for profit, and as long as they keep turning away, resellers from their store, it's not going to work to their advantage. And I think this is another way because now somebody did say maybe as resellers we'll be able to source from OfferUp instead of having to go into the store that shall not be named. Maybe, who knows?